What's up, everybody? Check. Looks good. How's everybody doing on this Saturday evening? The Prisoner? Let me get my stuff set up right here. Good to see everybody tonight. My favorite people on the internet. We got Kenjiro, Johnny Macaroni. It's Ren. You said you're a first-time viewer. Thanks for being here, Ren. Dr. Peppy. Mr. Mutterbug. Prisoner. P. Wolf, I see you. Parker. For Hire. DWG. Good to see everybody, man. Dirtisan? Five by five coming through loud and clear. What's that from? Ring Bear, what's up, man? I can't remember every comment I read over the past week, but I remember you having a good take or something like that. Kanjiro 2, I believe. Actually, a lot of people here did. Reaver X, you enjoyed the level-headed SC videos? Well, thank you, man. I appreciate you saying that. Reaver X 5970, is that the GPU you have? Twixel? You like to take on keeping content providers accountable? I appreciate that. Appreciate that a lot. Prisoner, you appreciate the SC reporting? I appreciate that too. It's funny, you know, like a year and a half ago when I did my first YouTube video, like I never imagined I would be commenting on any of that kind of stuff, and even to this day I just feel like I'm just saying the things that should be said. But I really appreciate that people appreciate it. Now you're running a 4090? Well, that's even better. Oh yeah, a 5970 wouldn't even be a GPU anyway, sorry. I was thinking 5070 in my head. Next week's gonna be a big week for the project, or a really lame week for the project, and I'm not talking about the patch. What do you mean, Turshka? What are you talking about? Community will get over it, just keep educating, and that's true. Oh, Gamescom? Oh, that's next week, huh? I have not been keeping tabs on that. Who's expecting an announcement at Gamescom? You doubt it, Velocity? Yeah, I heard... What I heard is they're gonna have, like, a presence and they're going to be like set up down the street or something. I don't know. Expect the unexpected? Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Bar Citizen, maybe that's what I was hearing. Like they're going to be down the street. Wouldn't that be interesting if they just like faked everybody out? Everybody's speculating over some kind of a Gamescom thing, and then they just host like a Bar Citizen like right next door, and then that's where they make their announcement. That would be hilarious. Game will be delayed to Invictus 2027. Not expecting any announcement. I would say I'm in a similar boat. I have no expectations. Whatever happens will be a surprise. GTA 6 will fail and SQ42 will save the day. Yeah. What do you guys think about the GTA 6 getting its own little splash of drama? You already expect nothing till the October event? You have bad vibes about GTA 6? Yeah. The PC release thing is, like, makes it kind of irrelevant to me. Even though I know it'll still impact the industry. It's not going to have a direct impact on me because I won't be playing it on console. A lot of grown gamers don't have good feelings about GTA anymore. Sounds like a lot of crazy going on, yeah. The fact that they're having that event, Twixel, keeps making me think, yeah, like it's definitely getting delayed till sometime next year. I've heard the argument that they haven't updated any of the legal requirements for a delayed release, but I don't even know what's going on over in the EU for all that. So, and if there is any, I'm sure it's very quick to amend. So I would not take that as a sign that it's going to be released this year. Marathon active user count was down 95% or something. What's Marathon? $8:29 at 7 p.m., huh? Okay, that's exactly 1 week away. GTA got too greedy? What makes you say that? Playable demo? Release early next year with a hard date? Yeah, I would take that. That wouldn't upset me at all. Yeah, sorry for the late start, Zero. I was planning on starting between 4 and 5, and then around 3:30, my family member texted me out of the blue and said, "Hey, let's get dinner." And I was like, somebody I don't see very often, so I couldn't say no. Oh, the Arc Raiders extraction shooter competitor? I'd heard of some people playing it. I did not dip my toes into it. They're charging people just to watch a gameplay reveal? Oh, is that the Netflix thing? Hmm. Hey, sorry, I need 1 minute. I'll be right back, guys. Sorry. Sorry about that. Threatened to release GTA again. What's up, Deep Titanic? The 96% number. Let's check this out. Whoops. Yeah, sorry. I got a touch of something. Not feeling the greatest. Not like bad, but marathon player count has fallen 96% since launch, leaving Bungie with a make or break season 3. I don't know much about this game. $88,000 in March to basically 15,000 in July. This feels like the way of things now. On Steam releases. Is this game seasonal by chance? I don't know much about it. Yeah, I was told this was the Arc Raiders competitor. Hey, Miss Mount Stunner. Good evening. And so has Arc Raiders. Has it? Yeah. All-time peak was almost $500,000 and 38 minutes ago. The 24-hour peak's 35,000. That is more than a 90% drop. 100% rampant cheating in what? In Arc Raiders? You're old, yeah. I'm with you. I'm playing a game this weekend called War Dogs. Anybody heard of it? Like, I don't have the hand-eye coordination that I used to, but War Dogs is interesting. I wanted to talk about it in a little bit. Mostly because and thank you, Mr. Dr. Penguin. I appreciate the follow, sir. Yeah, greetings. And thank you for the follow, man. Yeah, the thing that interests me about War Dogs is that it has an economy. I don't know how many games are like that, of those type, because I don't play those types of games very often. Hello, Spartacus. Appreciate you being here, man. And it has legitimate different roles, and the thing that I was really taking in as I was playing it was what games like Star Citizen could learn from the way it implements the incentives. You know what I mean? Yeah, and it could just be that my knowledge is outdated. This could all be normal for these types of games. I don't know, because I don't play first-person shooters really anymore because I'm pretty bad at them. Yeah. I mean, we can just talk about it a little bit now. For anybody who hasn't played it, it has a currency. Dollars, right, is the currency that you buy things in the game with. Whenever you spawn in, you need to buy your kit. And then whenever you die, so one of your teammates has to either pick you up or you respawn. If you respawn, you lose all your gear. Much like some other games, beloved games, that we want to work that way. And you have to buy your kit again, and there's a currency cost to that. And you earn currency in the game just by doing things. by downing opponents, or by building a base, or by transporting goods, or by picking up your friends whenever they're down. Like, all the things that you're supposed to be doing in the game reward you with this currency that you then have to spend on your kits. On top of that, there is a tipping culture, so you can tip people for getting you up, or you can try to bribe people to get you up sooner, you know, things like that. So there's also a currency trade between players for doing helpful things, and it's very interesting to me how it's all working. I feel like, I mean, I played all day yesterday and half of today, and I feel like the devs did a really good job on the economy in there, and like incentivizing players to do the right things, because I've played games like that before where it was just a complete crapshoot and your teammates were almost as bad as the opponents and trying to like grief you and just, you know, all kinds of retarded nasty things. And so yeah, this one struck me in that how clever they were in designing the incentivization system to promote solid play. Now we'll see if it holds, if that sticks. Who knows what it's going to look like a month from now. The other things that you use your currency for, by the way, are like upgrading and unlocking access to new weaponry or components or tools. So that also incentivizes people to seek this currency. Yeah, the whole thing's very interesting. I'm going to play a little bit later if we have time. Arc Raiders, War Dogs, Arma, etc. is exactly what SIG need to do with Arena Commander. Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing a system like that in the Arena Commander. They already kind of have a currency in Arena Commander that I have completely ignored. I don't even know what it's used for, but I know you can like rent ships in Arena Commander and stuff with it, right? So yeah, it would be cool to see a currency like what's in War Dogs in Arena Commander. SC has the same unified rig as Arma. The thing is that you get matchmaking, so even if you suck, you can still be competitive. Yeah, that's a good point, Tyler. Well, the other thing that draws me to War Dogs is there's other roles, right? And this is what I love about games like Star Citizen, because I don't have to be somebody who can headshot somebody while leaping through the air like Superman and diving for cover and not miss anything, you know, because I do the reason I tend to stay away from these games is that so many players, and maybe this is my perception, but it feels like a lot of players are violating the rules. Like, maybe not, maybe they are just that good, but I find it crazy how accurate some people are. Anyway, it could just be my jealousy. Like, I can't be that accurate, and so like I don't like to play games I can't win, and so on and so forth. But it does a good job of having other roles in the game. Like a medic role is very valuable in this game. Nobody wants to be respawning because that's expensive. For all the same reasons that we want gear loss and degradation and all that kind of stuff in Star Citizen, right? Is because I've made the case repeatedly that like that gives other roles purpose. Without those things, like other roles actually lose meaning. So as annoying as it is to like have to refarm that special item that you got and then you later lost, like it's worth its annoyance in spades just because of the value it gives to all the other roles in the game. And yeah, this is very much like that. You can be a recon. There's value in targeting things, like you can sit back with your binoculars and like scout, and you can actually if you spot things, it'll put a marker on the map for other people to see. Base building is very relevant. Running resources is very relevant. So you have people that like the only thing they do in the game is fly copters back and forth between your base and the zone that you're combating in. You know, this, and that very much reminds me of the logistics that we want to see in Star Citizen. You know, we want to see that type of thing in Star Citizen. We want to be a purpose between people flying transport ships and bringing things to the front line and like all that stuff. And this game has it on a much smaller scale, obviously. But it's cool. It was cool to see it all working this weekend. Arena Commander could be a free SC, separate entry game for Steam. That would be really cool, Johnny. You think they could moderate the Arena Commander to protect from the PU server degradation? I mean, Arena Commanders should be an instance. I don't know how it runs today, but it'll be a good place to beef up. So when a ship patch hits, people are they can still really have fun. I mean, we've used Arena Commander for that in the past. Whenever the I don't know. It's been a long time since I used Arena Commander because the one thing I'll say is they haven't done a great job of keeping Arena Commander up to date with the PU. We used to do a lot of skirmishes in Arena Commander, for example, but we stopped because things like why did we stop? So engineering wasn't working in Arena Commander or something like that. I don't know. There were certain ways that the game was evolving combat-wise that were not well reflected in Arena Commander, and so it was kind of losing its value. I would love to see them kind of update it. Unless I'm wrong, and that's already been addressed. Could shift some of the ship balance testing. Yeah. Kenjiro accurate, like a 98% chance to hit someone misses an XCOM game? Yeah. Yeah, something like that. Space Daisy. Respawning SC will be expensive too, but helping people should be a priority. Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's where we need to get to, right? And that's what I was thinking as I was playing. Like every time I was downed, I could wait to get brought back up, and almost every time, I would say 95% of the time, somebody got me up. That's the kind of incentives we need in Star Citizen. Like, whatever this game is doing is working. Thank you so much, Griffin Gaming. I really appreciate it. So whatever this game is doing is working. I would love to see Star Citizen. You know, we're not there yet. I understand why we don't have this stuff yet, but just looking down the road, like, it'll be cool whenever we do have things that make getting your buddies up like the priority. I mean, I can't wait to see medevac teams come in and pull people out of the fire, you know what I mean, and get them to safety and get them back in the action. Even in games like Eve, where people lose ships, people still don't like to fly Logi. Yeah. Well, that's the other thing, Kemi, sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, is that, like, it doesn't have to be your only role, right? That's something like, in a game like Eve, if you're flying Logi, like, that is your role. Like that's all you can do, right? But this game is interesting because anybody can get you up. And anybody can build those skills while they're building other skills. If it's through degradation, I'm 100% for loss. What do you mean by that, Mr. Dr. Penguin? I think we need loss, period. Like, loss is what's going to fuel the economy, and it's what's going to give people's roles purpose. You know. Thoughts on Enshrouded? I love Enshrouded. It's a great game. But it's kind of one of those games, like, I've played through it already. I'll probably play through it one more time on release, but I've already seen a lot of the game, and it's one of those games that doesn't have a real high replayability for me. Really? Deep Titanic? Multiplayer AC was First Contact? That's cool. Thank you, Griffin. I'm glad you've been enjoying the recent vids. I gotta be honest on the recent vids thing. It's not my favorite type of video to do. But, you know, when it feels necessary, I'll definitely do them. Imagine how much fun you could have in an old Battlefront Star Wars capship scenario. You remember when you first called your Mustang a Port Olisar? That's awesome. I miss the old Port Olisar. I only got to see the old Port Olisar for like one patch before. 2 patches, I guess, before it was removed. Dr. Peppy, thank you so much for becoming a member. Really appreciate it, man. You think suit lockers and insured FPS loadouts will be a big change there? Medbeds will be less valuable if we're back to beacon undersuits on regen. That's a good point, Doctor. Or sorry, we got 2 doctors in the house now. Mr. Doctor. So we got a Mr. Doctor and a doctor. Okay. Yeah, that's a good point, Mr. Doctor. If you respawn in a med bed with just your suit, I would love that. I'm all for planning and prep mattering, and I hate the current thing. I guess it's still the current thing where you just respawn. Yeah, it is. You just respawn in the bed with all your attached gear. I hate that. What's up, Guardian Gnome? Do I agree with yeah, I know it's tier 0. It's terrible. I said whenever they first started doing it, like, I wish they would just skip tier 0. But here we are. Do you agree with Salty Mike's take that there were no bugs in the game right now? That if there were no bugs in the game right now, players would get bored? If I recall, you would also perform more content to bug squashing? Let me think about that. I do think that there is merit to bugs actually being content in Star Citizen, as crazy as that might sound. In my group, a lot of my fond memories started with a bug. It's kind of like the whole friction thing, right? Like, people hate friction, but a lot of times they don't think about all the memories that friction creates. And bugs, if you think about it, are just a form of friction, so it shouldn't come as a surprise that they can actually create endearing moments. So, would people get bored without them? I think without them right now, I mean, yes, there would be less content. To some extent, they create content. So I don't know. I mean, I can't say that that's a wrong take. I don't know that I don't know that we'd be losing enough content to make people bored, though. So I can't say that I agree, but I can definitely see the perspective. I don't necessarily want to see more content over bug fixing. I think bug fixing should be the priority. I want to see more systems. And systems are going to continue to break things and require more bug fixing, so it's a kind of a hand-in-hand thing, is what I'm looking for. You know, I'm not here for going into dungeons and running them with people. I'm here for the open sandbox. So the systems is what is important to me. I don't know if that answers your question, Guardian. No, hopefully it does. It's Ren. You'd be curious to hear my thoughts on Death of a Spaceman for Star Citizen, since you mentioned loss. I don't know enough about Death of a Spaceman to have a strong opinion, but in general, I am for death penalties. I think there's a lot of ways to penalize it, right? And the reason I'm for it is because I think it incentivizes more careful gameplay, at least for me. I don't know if it does for everybody. And I like that style of gameplay. I like when things are slowed down a little bit and people have to think about their next move. And I think death penalties is a tool for that. You know, now how severe they are, that's a game design question, and I don't know. I'd have to really know what they're thinking about. I've heard a lot of things like from financial loss to reputation loss to whatever. I think I definitely don't think that we want to be penalized on every death. So I like the idea of Death of a Spaceman being kind of an aggregate, and ideally, it would be something that maybe regenerates over time, so that it really penalizes careless gameplay, right? So it doesn't penalize the person that's dying, you know, once a week, because everybody's going to have misfortunate events that cause them to lose their character, right? I don't know that we really want to penalize that, but we want to penalize reckless gameplay. So the person who's just running into combat full speed, not looking for cover, doesn't care, just trying to get in there and fire off a bazooka, and they die like a bazillion times, but you know, they also wreck some of the opponents while they're at it. Like, that's the kind of gameplay we want to penalize in my mind. So like, if you know, whatever we can do for that, I'm all for it. And if that means, like, if you die 10 times in a row, okay, you just lost 20% of your reputation, I'm all for that. I think that's cool, especially if there's like a kind of like RP elements behind it. Like they've talked about like cybernetic limbs and stuff to kind of show that your character is degrading. I think that's badass. That's what we were worried about. I'm looking for a massive MMO, and the game isn't, but I love the voxel approach, and wish I could get an MMO that could handle it. Yeah, well, good luck. I'm not aware of any. Medrunner org does a good job at rescue, but because of the distance, it can take a while. Yeah, definitely. I don't think that the distance is a problem. The only reason it's a problem is because we're not incentivized to wait. It's cheap to respawn, right? There's no cost. There's really no cost to it right now. That's the problem. Cammy, first time you catch me live, usually watching your vids. Well, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming out. That means more than you can know. Death of a Spaceman is by far one of the hardest things to implement the right way. Yeah, it's going to be tricky. I'd rather we don't have loss via looting, because that would invalidate crafting and markets. People are just going to run basic store-bought sets, needing to replace gear over time, versus just losing everything and to some guy holding a corner in a basic store. That's an interesting take, Mr. Doctor. I think I disagree, because I think the thing that gives crafting value is loss, right? If I can see where you're going with that line of reasoning, though, and I'm having to think about it. I appreciate the challenge. But EVE Online is a great example, right? EVE Online had an incredible economy. That's probably why I disagree. And EVE Online, you would get your ship blown up, and you would lose everything, and a percentage of it would drop into space, and people could pick it up. But that did not result in people just running the simplest kits and taking stuff from the people who had the good stuff. You know what I mean? Because it was actually really difficult to win that fight. So EVE has figured it out. They did something to make the crafting economy amazing while having full loot loss. You'd like to get me fired up a bit, because every round I pull more knowledge. Thanks, Spartacus. Military term for bugs is welcome to the suck. Wasn't Light No Fire by Hello Games effort has something like that? I believe they're going for something like that, Zero, but Light No Fire is not going to be a true MMO either. It's going to be an MMO just like their space game is. So, yeah. I mean, it depends on if you consider No Man's Sky an MMO. Gonna be the same model, same system. Guardian, but if we had player shops set up selling crafted items, I don't know if anyone would buy base level gear if the ease of access to buy crafted gear was implemented. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm getting at with EVE Online's economy, right? EVE Online, it was, I mean, you were always buying other people's gear. Now, CIG specifically wants to avoid that. And maybe that will make this more problematic in Star Citizen. I actually don't know. I'd have to think about that a little bit more. Because EVE Online, I don't think you really had the vendor option. Albion Online has a tier that you never use unless supported, and a tier better than standard PvP gear. Interesting. I've never played Albion, but I've heard good things about it too. SC without Star Sim isn't much of an economy. I mean, Star Sim is necessary specifically because they don't want a player-driven economy. They want a player-influenced economy. To be fair, in EVE, your ability is based on skill training, not what you lose in a fight. Then beyond that, EVE absolutely sucks for those that aren't dropping real money on it. I don't know about today. I understand that EVE has gotten to an interesting place, but 10, 12 years ago, whenever I was playing EVE Online, I felt that I could play without RMTing, but I get what you're saying. But I think that if you were not RMTing, losing a military-grade ship was no small matter. I mean, it meant that I now had to work my butt off and buy another military-grade ship from a player that was making them. You don't think that Star Citizen can replicate an EVE-style economy as long as people can buy ships off the RSI store or from NPC shops rather than players building pretty much every ship you see? Now, I completely agree, Chemica. Which, I can't say that I have put a ton of thought into this issue, and it's very interesting now that you all got me thinking about it. But yeah, that's why I said just a few minutes ago that the fact that it's not a player-driven economy definitely changes the equation. Here's an idea: make a base level gear expensive at NPC shops and super cheap if you craft it yourself. Yeah, the Enshrouded voxel system is pretty awesome, Zero. But, you know, you're going to be playing it with like 6 people. Yeah, EVE is a completely different style of play. Can you elaborate on how SIG doesn't want players to buy crafted gear from other players? I thought the vision was to eventually have an eco with players selling things. Yeah, they definitely do, Guardian Gnome. There's definitely going to be player-to-player trading. What I meant when I said they don't want a player-driven economy is they don't want players to represent 100% of the economy. Last I heard, they wanted players to represent 10% of the economy. So you can go and you can buy, you know, standard gear almost anywhere in the verse, but if you want the special gear, you got to get that off players. I think you need a Mega to really be competitive in EVE, but I know people even today playing entirely off Care Bearing and Nullsec. Yeah. I mean, I did a lot of industry when I played. I thought it was court-based ships and items should be upper tier and priced to match it. Yeah. Make insurance take a lot longer than usual, like a few days to recover an expensive ship. I completely agree with that, Velocity. I think they're going to have to do things like that to make the economy, at least the ship economy, which should be the endgame economy for Star Citizen, function. Yeah. Why even buy gear? It's very easy to find it. Well, because the crafted gear is going to be much better than the stuff you can find. You think that's more related to commodities so that players can't manipulate prices? Maybe. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think NPCs are going to participate in the crafted space. I think you know, they'll sell base level 500 items, and anything above that is really player driven. But the commodities are going to be down in that NPC driven area. That's, I mean, I don't know any of this for certain, but that's my take. Or that, not my take. That's my perception based on what I've been seeing in the communications way I've gotten. Not just crafted gear from players, but rare gear only available on other systems. I mean, that's the state of the game today, Prisoner. I don't know, like, we don't know what the state of the game is going to be come 1.0. Like, will this rare gear that we're farming from systems still be there? I don't know. Essentials, you're glad you were able to buy a ship from the store. You would have quit if you had to keep re-earning it. Yeah, I mean, some would say that's part of the strategy. Like, that's how they sell more ships, right? Because people don't want to keep re-earning them. Which, you know, people can feel however they want about that. Like, I get it. This discussion in chat is telling me I cannot just sell looted or standard armor on my BMM. That there will be a stronger interest in crafted gear. Degradation also makes crafting necessary. Yeah, 100% Kenjiro. I mean, you might be able to sell base level gear based on convenience. Right? Like if you take your BMM and you park it in some hot area and you're now closer than the other places that sell it, like you might be able to do it just based on convenience. Kind of like, you know, a convenience store at the corner here charges more for a Snickers bar than the grocery store does. Convenience has value. But yeah, you're not going to be able to set up shop in the mall and sell the same stuff everybody else is. Unless you can undercut them. You know, that's another strategy. We don't know what the vendor prices are going to be. You might be able to undercut them. You think making insurance much slower with larger copays is probably the best way to make losing a ship really have a cost that matters. Yeah, we got to do something. Like, in the Road to 1.0 video that they showed us when they were talking about, orbital stations and players operating space stations, and they showed us the dry docks where ships were being built. Like, if we want ship manufacturing to be a big part of the game, which I do, then we gotta get to a point where you're not just claiming a ship that's lost and you get it in 4 hours. Why would you ever buy a ship from a player? Unless, of course, you don't have it. But I don't know. But there's other ways they could go there too, right? Like, if they want to keep certain ships purchasable in places like New Deal, it could be that they just don't sell the bigger ships in New Deal, which they already aren't, right? Like, right now we're having to acquire those things through that alien, Wicklow. So it could just be by 1.0, like, the Wicklow options go away, and then all those big fancy ships that they never put in New Deal, they're all player crafted now. Could be something like that, in which players are really only trading on the big ships. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that, but that could be one way they go. The LSS really makes an almost 3x difference in FPS on Cyberpunk. I took it to native and I'm getting like 60 FPS at 4K. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you shouldn't notice a quality difference. The only thing that you should notice with DLSS is increased latency, which isn't really going to matter on a game like that. I think the only place people really avoid using DLSS is in like an FPS shooter or something where the latency is king and means the difference between winning and losing. That's my understanding. My surface level understanding. That was their intention, to have certain stuff only available in other systems. Yeah, no, I get it. But it could be blueprints, it could be components to craft things, could be yeah, it could be vendor items, could be a whole number of things. The way I see it, NPCs are currently selling crafted 500 quality items. Store-bought shifts from the base item to whole quality. Yeah, I assume that's the way they're going to go. Leave the upper end to players, but I'm still interested in Mr. Doctor's take. That looting could negatively impact the crafting scene. Normally, I would say absolutely I disagree with that, but with the NPC market, I can actually see that side of it. I'm trying to resolve that in my mind. I'm still thinking about it in the background. Not re-earning most of the ships in the game are disappointments. If I had to grind for weeks to get one ship I like, just so I could start to enjoy the game, I'd have quit. Yeah, I can see that. Personally, I think they should make NPC items expensive and crafted item with the same 500 quality. Very cheap. Yeah, Velocity, that would be possibly a good way to do it. I like that. I think. I don't think that's a bad idea at all. Does 500 hertz monitors really make a difference? I have no idea. I didn't even know those existed yet. I'm still back here on a 120. I think I got a 240. Actually, no, I might have a 240. Oh, yeah. I completely forgot about that strat. What do you think about that, Mr. Doctor? That's a good point. Looting gear, you're not going to be able to just loot the gear and then use it. You're going to have to unbrick it, right? That's their way of attaching cost to piracy. So, yeah. That's a really good point. That changes the equation too, which means they're thinking ahead more than I am, which we would assume they are. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're probably considering how that impacts crafting, I would assume. So, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I'm still playing PAX Day, Nightingale. I may hop in there tonight, I don't know. It depends on if the team needs me, if they need a healer or not. I have somebody else is leading the army tonight. And I was thinking of showing this other game on the stream if we get to that. I wanted to chat about some of this other stuff first. It just released 1,000 hertz, but it's 720. What the hell? What's the point of 1,000 hertz? I thought, see, I'm not an expert on this stuff, but I thought that your FPS needed to match the hertz to really get any value out of it. The crafted gear makes a huge difference in PvP. I was in Ruin against guys with 1,000 quality armor, and they were impossible to take down with 800 plus quality weapons. Damn. I mean, that's basically how it worked in EVE Online, right? If you were in your little shitter ship and you come up against somebody in the deck to the nines, like, good luck. Not that you couldn't win, but it was really difficult. You get nothing for free. You have to work for it just like everyone else. Yeah, I agree, Doctor. Mr. Doctor, I think it's good. I think that's a good system, having non-brick stuff. I think that's a very good system. Maverick, I'm glad you caught me live. Thanks for being here. It's hacking as a form of crafting? Yeah. That's cool. You know, I really like when you have multiple paths to the same destination. But they're comparable costs, they just have a different feel to them. I think that's good. No point to what? Oh, the hertz? Yeah. They're players that think they are pros and they need the fastest monitor and nothing less than 200 FPS. Yeah, I guess. When refining comes online, I really hope they reevaluate letting you improve quality through refining. It would be interesting to have dismantling start below 500, but have a refining process to bring up quality. I'm torn on that one, Spartacus. What I don't want the economy to get to a point where the only gear worth wearing is 1,000 quality gear. And I'm afraid there's actually no way of preventing that anyway. But if anything can be refined up to that point, we'll definitely get there faster. I think the only time the refresh rate matters is if the frame is generated in the middle of the cycle. You either get screen tearing or have to wait for the next cycle to update. That's a fair point. Maybe the hertz will. Zinley, thank you so much for the sub, man. Really appreciate it, dude. You must be up to like I don't know, like 78 months by now. I appreciate it, man. Means a lot. Oh boy, there comes Spartacus. He has to bring a little bit of doom with the enthusiasm. If it comes online. Still think this project could be in for an implosion. That's fine. Gotta have our in-house skeptic. I don't think you're the only one. If you don't have a rig that can get FPS up in your monitor's HZ potential, then I kind of wonder the point. Yeah, I mean, that's where I'm at, 0. You guys seem to understand FPS and hertz and all that stuff more than I do. It's funny. I used to really pay attention to hardware evolution. I started out my career as a custom PC builder, so I built a lot of custom PCs. But that was back in like the, oh my gosh, I'm gonna give away my age. You guys already know I'm old as hell. But 386 and 486 days. And I was actually custom building the 8086s and 286s as well, but they were already old by that point. But we also sold old used stuff. Anyway, back then I could tell you everything. You guys remember anybody remember the Computer Shopper? Something like that, Zinley. Your guess is as good as mine. Yes, the big phone book. The Computer Shopper. Thing was like this thick. And it was like huge. XT477. Oh yeah. Yep, I built some of those. Do you remember the original PC? I think the PC predated the XT. Which the PC was an 8088. If I'm not mistaken. That was before the 86 architecture. Oh, was the XT the 8088 too? I was thinking the XT was 8086. Anyway. Yeah. I used to freaking get so excited when the new Computer Shopper came out. You could go you go to the back and they would have the big BBS listings. You could find BBSs all over the United States to dial into and play door games on. Spent a lot of time in that section. And I'm sorry, Zinley, I don't have the Dual Link set up yet. I'm still working on it. Serious. You guys are gonna come to this channel one of these days, and there's gonna be exclamation mark duel. Gonna be scoreboards. Gonna be freaking horns going off. Oh, the 8080? I don't think I've ever saw an 8080. Ah, so did I, Zinley. Damn. Yeah, I think the oldest CPU I held in my hand was an 8088. Spartacus, I did not stand in line for the Doom release. Do you guys remember shareware? Yeah, the monochrome monitors, absolutely. Captain Keen, yeah, you remember shareware. Dude, shareware was so huge in that time. Tandy 1000, I had one of them. Yeah, ID did get their start with shareware. That's how I played Doom. We had, so this computer shop that I worked at where I was building custom PCs, we hired this guy. He was kind of a kooky old guy, but he was cool. And like, that was his thing, man. He just wanted to be the shareware specialist. He spent all of his time like cataloging shareware and managing all these disks and people would come into the shop and he would try to profit off shareware. Like he would sell them discs full of shareware. It was an interesting time, but yeah, he hooked me up with my first copy of Wolfenstein and Doom. I don't know. I can't remember if that was a full release though. Like I think the shareware version of Doom wasn't as big as the commercial release, but I don't think I ever played the commercial release of Doom. I think I just played the shareware release over and over and over again. And upgrade your 4-color monitor to play Wolfenstein. 4-color monitor, was that CGA? Wasn't CGA the 4-color monitor? Or was that pre-CGA? I can't remember now, because you had CGA, EGA, VGA. Didn't it go like 4, 16, and then... Oh shit, man, I can't remember anymore. VGA was like 64 or 128 or something. Or 256. Man, I don't know. My memory is fading on some of that old stuff, but yeah, I remember. Don't remember, but it was 400 for a 16-color monitor. Yeah, I'm pretty sure 16 was EGA. Hey, Jack Tyler. Better late than never, man. Appreciate you being here. Masters of Doom is a great book. I'll have to check it out. I'll have to check that out. Is it as good as the Tetris movie? There were shops that just sold shareware with thousands of discs. That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, that's basically what the guy wanted to build in our shop. Human Ascended Master, are you the only one that thinks the quantum speed changes are super exciting? Did they change it again? Because last I heard, the change was all the ships could go further. That's not super exciting. When they get to the point where they slow shit down and we can't go as far, that's what I'll get excited about. Was there a specific game that got me into gaming? It always been part of your life? It's been part of my life for as long as I can remember. I'll tell you the first game I can remember playing. Actually, I never played it. I watched my family members, I think it was my grandfather and his son, play Pong. That was the first video game I can remember watching. And then the first one I played was, yeah, the Atari, whatever. The Atari that everybody had. I remember playing a lot of games on that when I was very young. So yeah, as long as I can remember, I've been playing video games. Then I went from the Atari to the Sega Master System. There was definitely a stretch there between Atari and Sega. I remember, like, gaming almost died. I don't know if anybody remembers that. Yeah, the Atari 2600. But after the Atari 2600, like, I feel like gaming died for a while. At least home gaming did. And then it was the, when the original NES came out and the Sega Master System, that was like the reinvigoration of gaming, and then it took off from there. Never slowed down again. Yeah, the NES completely changed the market. Small ships get fast spool, slow speed, while large ships get slow spool, fast speed. And travel time is reduced. Oh my gosh. I hate that. The Lemmings was a great game. State of General Massachusetts used Burrow terminals. Found one in the trash, played around with it, didn't do much because it was a dumb terminal. I remember working with dumb terminals. The Ultimate games got you really into gaming? Never had or wanted a console? Yeah, the Ultimate games were incredible, man. So after consoles, I mean, the Commodore would have been my first computer. And the reason I wanted a computer was because my grandfather had an Atari computer. It was like the Atari, I forget what the hell it was, like the 7800 or something like that. And it had a cassette and a disk drive. I was pretty young, but I remember it had Zork, and man, Zork hooked me on PC gaming. It was just a text adventure game, but I wanted to play a lot more games like that, so did some wheeling and dealing, and I eventually got a Commodore 64, and that's really what got me into PC gaming. After that, it was all over. And went from the Commodore 64 to the Tandy 1000, and then from the Tandy 1000 to a 386, and then up and up and up and up. Duck Hunt was epic. Damn dog. I never hit the dog. Did you ever play an old PC game? Very simple turn-based called Scorched Earth? I never played Scorched Earth. When it comes to old, simple PC games, the game that sticks out to me as the one that just captivated me, other than Zork, was Magic Candle on the Commodore 64, man. Oh my gosh, that changed how I saw gaming. Warcraft 1 was an incredible game. I played that on my 386. Everybody at the computer shop that I worked at had it, and we would dial into each other's computers to play against each other with modems. Yeah. I'm glad one other person here played Zork. Such a good game. The moment I opened the mailbox and was able to pull something out and read it, that's what hooked me on sandbox gaming, people. Been a sandbox gamer ever since. Watched my buddy play Polar Radiance. I don't know if I had Polar Radiance on the C64, but I remember that being a big deal. Warcraft on a 386 and LAN Party was great, yeah. Command and Conquer, yeah. I never really got into Command and Conquer. I played a ton of Warcraft, a little bit of StarCraft. I didn't really get into that one either. But I played Warcraft 1, 2, 3. Back when it cost $5 an hour to log on to CompuServe to get internet access? Yeah, right? Those were the days, man. Speaking of, I don't know if you ever watched, there was a special. I forget what it was on. It was all about the rise and fall of AOL. It was freaking crazy, the roller coaster ride that company had. The Atari Sinclair system with the green monitor? Oh, the mono monitor. Never saw that one. Well, sandbox mechanics and systems or idea are you most excited to see implemented in SC? Let me think. It's kind of like a combination of systems that I'm most excited about. It's the combination, and this is why I'm so interested in the the fuel change conversation that's happening in chat, and I still don't feel like I know exactly what's going on. I'll have to look into it, but it's the combination of Starchitect with an emphasis on local gameplay with distance and friction, like friction on travel. I really love the idea of Star Citizen being a sandbox planetary environment that you can kind of outgrow and take to the stars, and the stars feel vast and adventurous, right? And like, but that's not a problem. Like right now, that's a problem. Like we can't do that right now because there's not enough content in the game. It would just annoy people if they have to spend a whole bunch of time traveling. But once Starchitect's in play and refined, and it's to the point where you have more than enough to keep you busy for the rest of your gaming life on a single planet, then the ability to take to the stars, because that's what you decide to do with your game time. And it's kind of like just that one planet you start on is a whole game in and of itself. And then reaching out beyond that is just like, holy shit. Like, you just opened up. I mean, just like how we would feel today, right? Like leaving Earth and venturing out. Like, I want that to be the feeling of space travel in Star Citizen. That's the thing I'm most excited about in the sandbox. And of course, there's a whole lot of other systems that would be icing on that cake, but that is the core. Yeah, that's the plan. Spend 100 to 300 hours plus and then move on to another planetary system. Yeah, that would be amazing. Have I watched Halt and Catch Fire? Mad Men meets the Rise of Silicon Valley? No, I haven't, Ring Bear. But that is very interesting. I'll have to check that out. I love Silicon Valley, man. That was hilarious. And I like Mad Men too, so if you're crossing those two things, that might be a good next show for me to watch. Science. Yeah, science gameplay will be cool. Yeah, I mean, like, once you have that core thing that I'm talking about, like, every other system will be so much better because of it. And, like, that every other system will make that experience better, right? Like, if there's more that I can do on that planet that I start on than just looking for Starchitect NPCs to do things for, if I can decide to go fishing or start a farm or, you know, and eventually grow that farm into, like, some kind of a science-y thing, or, you know, like all these different systems we're talking about getting into. Like if I want to start a crafting, refining business and start producing items all before I even step foot off the planet. Like if I'm able to locate resources on that planet, create a supply chain on that planet, start producing goods, shipping goods off world, all without ever leaving the planet. Like that's how all those systems come together to make that entire thing even better than it otherwise would be. Dallas Plays, you love my takes on Star Citizen, recent drama. I feel like none of these people know a darn thing about software development. Really appreciate it, man. I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate you watching the videos. It doesn't sound what they are shooting for, though. Why do you say that? I want the life on the ship gameplay. Yeah, I think that's a whole nother way to play, right? I don't want life on a ship to not exist, by the way. I'm not saying I want everybody to play PlanetSide. But I think if you start PlanetSide, work your way up, you buy your ship, and then you're living in space and you're living on your ship, I think that friction between planets and the distance makes living on a ship even cooler. Like living on a ship, to me, wouldn't feel very cool if I can just be anywhere I want in 30 seconds. But like, if deep space is an adventure in and of itself, then living on a ship, I think, is even cooler. If you want a long haul and move from system to system, you can do that. Yeah, 100%. Tikapo Jones, hello, man. Halt and Catch Fire was good, man. Everybody's seen this except me. I gotta watch it. The esoteric emergent gameplay. It's not one single element. It's the matrix of systems combining exactly, Ring Bear. A dynamic economic system is my biggest wish list for SC. I just hope we don't lose the depth that Tony Z first ran through back in the day. Yeah, I mean, that's obviously a huge item. I mean, the econ has to be the backbone of the game. All right, I got about 17 thumbs ups for Halt and Catch Fire now, so I gotta watch it. Did you hear fishing? Yeah, I said it. I said it. Need the symbiotic relationship between systems to really get the dream to reality. Yeah, 100%. I agree. They're going to land a vehicle like the Clipper, like a camper van, precisely because they want planet-side gameplay. Oh, they're doing a land vehicle like the Clipper? Are you serious? I didn't know that. For me, they should really focus on getting some of the systems actually working, like improving the mission selector so that you can search and filter would be a potentially easy win for them. I think, Chemico, that they're gonna... Well, I don't know for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some refinements to that alongside the Starchitect mission pack, because all of a sudden we're gonna have a lot more missions to deal with, but it could just be they use range filtering to start. The original concept for the game is Freelancer 2. Living mostly in space. There was 100 planets planned, but only with POs. Yeah, I know. That's all different now. What is MW4? This felt like a business as usual cookie cutter FPS, but can't play DMZ or anything. Yeah. Zinli, you gotta try... I mean, if you're looking for a game like that, I don't know. I can't say enough good things about... Oh, Modern Warfare, yeah. I can't say enough good things for War Dogs. You know that Tony Z made Crusader? No remorse, no regret. Huh. I did not know that. Auxilla, the camper van? Wow. Sign me up. I love the generalist vibe on ships. I love it on a ground vehicle too. For land vehicles to make sense in battles, they really need to get the STA defense systems up to those vehicles, like tanks. Have any purpose? Yeah. They need to do a lot of work on ground vehicles for combat readiness. Clipper is close to Lone Star's Winnebago from Spaceballs. It's one of the reasons that appeals to me, Carbod. I hear tell that MW4 is a return to 2019. I know it's off the subject, but since someone brought it up, I'll say. Tony Z worked with Chris at Origin, really? I know Chris was in the same sphere as Ultima guy as well. You think it'll give us the option to prioritize returning to whatever shard we have? An unstow sword ship one? I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, I think behind the scenes they're already trying to make shards sticky. But if the shard's full, then they pop you to another one. So, I don't know if I have any plans on changing that or not, but as shard max population goes up, the chance for any one shard to be capped out will go down, which, if they do have stickiness behind the scenes, will mean you run into that issue less, but not never. I think, yeah. I know that they want to do more to carry state like that from shard to shard, so it really doesn't matter, but some things aren't quite achievable. Pucks Noxilla in your Ironclad, just live on that, yeah. Really? CR works on some of the Ultimate games? I didn't know that. I'll be right back again, guys, and then I want to cast my vote here. What? That's amazing. I will have to congratulate him. He has been a very generous host. Doing it right now before I forget. He's going to be a tired tomato, right? Think they'll get 410 out this week? I don't know. I don't want them to rush it. After everything that went down, I think they should just take their time. I think the best response they could have to all of that is just saying, you know what? Fuck it. We're just going to sit back here. We're going to take the next 6 weeks to get this right. And then we're not going to say a gosh damn word. And then, you know, you might get it. Looking forward to seeing how much the Planet Tech is going to grind my PC to a snooze. Yeah, right. Hopefully not. It's going to be really interesting to see how it looks. I'm really pumped for that one. Because, I mean, Planet Tech V5, I didn't mention it to the person who asked, like, what the parts I'm most excited for in the sandbox are, but I mean, Planet Tech is definitely part of that. Like, I was focused on Starkitect because that's what's going to give meat to the planets, but Planet Tech is what's going to make them feel like real places, right? I'm catching up on some of the chat while I was gone. Something tells me 411 on PTU is going to be busy, yeah. I never log into PTU, and I doubt I will even for 411, honestly, but I will definitely watch it. I've said before, but the live server is just buggy enough for me. I don't need to go higher. Other streamers quit because of kids. Yeah, I can't imagine. I mean, that is a lot of work. That is a lot of work. That kid will be able to podcast by the time he's 3. I don't know. Mrs. T was in labor for nearly 30 hours. Woo! Oh my gosh, dude. I can't imagine. We, our first, I think, was like 10 or 12 hours? And that was brutal. And then our second was like 30 minutes. I'm done. That was way better. The latest podcast was really good. Might only be out for members still, but it's at the game dev who worked on New World. A lot of good insight. That's amazing. I would love to get a guest on like that. They should keep their heads down and ignore the drama. Yeah, 100% with you. Surprised how good the SC runs for an MMO and how good it looks. Yeah, I mean that's a testament to the tech. Are they going to do a pass on all existing planets? They said that was the plan, but it was going to take a while. I think you're only going to see it on the next planets for now, and then it wouldn't surprise me if we saw it in new systems, like whatever comes after Nyx, before we saw it in any of the old ones. But I could be completely wrong there. Active and Diverse sent me over here. The Chief Kerchief, high praise from him. That's amazing. Thank you, Active and Diverse. You see Jared was at Disney World? Good for him, man. Yeah, hell yeah. I'm glad he's taking some time off. 4.11's most interesting change to me is the load balancing. Interesting. I didn't know that was part of 4.11. Did I ever play MUDs? Yeah, I played a lot of MUDs back in the day. And Mushes. I used to work an overnight shift at a network operations center. I worked the 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. shift. It was brutal. And one of the tools I used to keep me awake was MUDs and Mushes. Hear the Dr. Frankenstein quote? Yeah. Do you know how Planetech is supposed to utilize more GPU than CPU? I have no idea. I have no idea what it's going to look like on the client. That's why I would love to get a guest that has experience in game engine. In the last video I put out, there was a number of commenters who, at least one of them claimed to work at Crytek. So I would love to get somebody like that on the show. I'm definitely going to be reaching out to him. No idea how they will set up the servers for Nix One without the hamsters all giving up. I brought that up, Maverick. I think that's why, if you go back to the last monthly report, there was I did a video on it, but there was a ton of information in there about progress on meshing and the quasi-dynamic, and even some things for dynamic. And I think there's a good reason for that. I think they're planning ahead. I think Nix One is going to be carved up heavily, and I think they're going to need at least quasi-dynamic in place to keep Nix One from melting. It's either that, or you reduce the caps on the shards until they have that ready. Like we go back to 200 player shards or whatever. I mean, I suppose. Nah, they could do it with static. You could do it with static, but it would be expensive. Probably more expensive than they would like, but you could do it. You mean that doing a good amount of 410 PTU, more so because 4.9 is just having so many issues? Yeah, I've heard mixed things on 4.9 Carbide. I've heard of people going in and having good experiences, and I've heard people being miserable, but I think that's pretty normal for all patches. I guess it's just what percentage is miserable and what percentage is having a good time is probably what changes from patch to patch. Starchitect, suit lockers, and the final form of item recovery. Give me those, and I can endure everything else. Can't wait for more flora and fauna. I know, man. That Nix One looks incredible. I can't wait to just walk around the thing, watch the sunrise. Active has been really pumped by your last few videos, Grello. Who's Active? I'm sorry if I should know. I probably watch them and just don't know it. Because I'm really bad with names, I'm better with faces. Everyone will be at Nix One, that's what I'm saying. That's why they need to do some serious planning on how they're gonna share the load between DGSs. Whether that's some form of quasi-dynamic server meshing, or going really high on the static mesh for that planet. Who knows? Yeah, we are supposed to get social tools this year. Somebody asked me for a prediction in the last live stream that I did, and for 4.12, and that's my prediction for 4.12. I think we'll see social tools. That's going to be the last patch of the year, right? So. Active is a good size SC streamer. Active in the verse. He's one of the new guys. Oh, cool. Let me open them up so I can check it out. Cool. Looks like he's been... I mean, just based on his video count, at least as long as me. Okay, he's been going for a year. I've been going for like a year and a half, so yeah. I guess we're both some of the new guys. Cool. Well, I appreciate him sending people my way. Very upbeat and positive. Man, we need more people like that. Maybe he'll come on and chat with me. Former QA too. He knows bit. Sweet. I wonder if he would do a podcast with me. That would be awesome. One server for Stan, one for Pyro, one for the rest of Nyx, and 7 for Nyx 1. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, we're gonna need something like that. You like his enthusiasm, former pro Halo player? That's amazing. Yeah. I'll ping him and watch some of his stuff. I don't actually know if I've watched any of it yet, but I definitely will. I'm gonna add this to my other browser, which is where I kind of keep all my to-do items, or my to-do tabs. So I don't forget about it. Guarantee Active would love to chat with you. That's cool. Yeah, I'll try to set that up. Yeah. I'll definitely try to set that up. With so many servers allocated the next one, I guess the complaints about being limited to 5 systems for 1.0 seems so minuscule in comparison. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, people... Anybody complaining about 5 systems just doesn't get it. Like, I did the math on a video shortly after they made that announcement, and I was like, even 5 systems is going to be such an incredible amount of game space, right? I mean, if you add up all the 1,000 systems, whatever, that you have in things like EVE Online, and all the POIs, like, it pales in comparison to the space that we will have in 5 systems with Star Citizen 1.0. You got to think about all the surface area on all the planets, all the moons, the asteroids. I mean, there's just so much. Stations, etc., etc. The Stanton system is 64 trillion square kilometers. Yeah, there you go. And I'm discounting like empty space. I'm not even including empty space because EVE Online has a bunch of empty space too, right? That's not where the excitement is. The excitement is POIs and places like that, places that you can interact with, right? Like a planet, like the entire surface is basically like a POI or interactable because, I mean, presumably we'll be able to put bases anywhere, so you're gonna have like player bases all over these surfaces and so on and so forth, so that's interesting, whereas like deep space is a little bit less interesting, unless there's a POI there, right? So he does get excited like a kid sometimes, but it's kind of funny when you see. Nice, I love it. Not every system has to be so fleshed out, but well, they do well to honor their promise of 100 systems. Well, I think, yeah, I think honoring that for 1.0 is like it's not even realistic, because that 100 system promise was made whenever all we had was landing zones, right? So, like, the space that we're getting with 5 systems is way more than we would have gotten with 100 systems in the old promise, right? So that's why it balances out to me. Now, obviously, I hope that they continue to add systems post 1.0 and someday we get there. And, you know, it's probably with AI and Starkitect and all those tools coming online, I can definitely see a path to getting to 100 systems, but I don't want them holding up 1.0 for 100 systems. Yeah, they've got the lore fleshed out, but we don't even have one Planet Tech V5 planet with Starkitect yet. We don't have any idea what the time to get one of those out is going to be. Five systems with good population would definitely be enough for a while. Yeah, definitely. And it gives them a content drip, right? Something to get people excited post-release, like new systems opening up, you know, figuring out how to get there. You know, that would be a form of a content drip that I would not be upset about. Yeah, I agree. They need to march on. They need to continue. And that's basically what Eve did too, right? Like they kept adding new space, new wormholes, and Dead Space, all that kind of stuff. So I would love to see Eve do that, or not Eve. Sorry, Star Citizen. Castra looks the most interesting to me within the first 5 systems. I actually don't know a whole lot about Castra. Terra, yeah, I expect Terra to be awesome. As long as they don't start charging for the new systems, I doubt that. That would be funny. You need your multi-pass, Zero. Multi-pass? Like, that would be funny if we had to buy passes for them. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, you know, we've talked about that before. How are they going to fund the game post 1.0? I don't know. We don't want them to ship sales. We don't want them to sell systems. I have my ideas. I agree. I don't want them to do those things. But they need some kind of a revenue stream. And, you know, I've said before, and I know people disagree with me, but I would rather not be armor skins. But it'll probably be armor skins. Wait, what? A multi-pass? Yeah, they are still doing player-made space stations, Ring Bear. They'll still sell ships, probably. I freaking hope not, but probably. They talked about an SC2. That is definitely off the table. I see Star Citizen being... People are going to ridicule me if I say what I think it's going to be. Buy jump gate keys, pay $10 a piece to travel between systems. Hell yeah. Think I hit the nail on the head last time. It should be subscription based. I absolutely 100% think it should be subscription based, but a lot of people don't like that. I suppose they made a promise that there weren't going to be subs before, but again, the game was going to be totally different back then, so I don't know. I hate to see him stuck with that promise, but that doesn't mean there's not an optional sub, right? We've seen plenty of games do optional subs that are basically mandatory if you want to enjoy the game. You know, I wouldn't fault them for doing that. Between the two, would you rather ship sales or system sales? I'd rather system sales. SC 1.0 monetization is going to end up looking like Nicki Minaj camping Brio. You're going to have to forgive me for not getting that at all. I don't know who Nicki Minaj is, and I don't know what camping Brio means. Probably showing my age. Well, when SC was going to be freelancer and SC2 is going to be more like it is now. I got you. That makes sense. Imperator and Centurion subscriptions are going to do a lot of work with more systems, yeah. Yeah, I've always subscribed at whatever their highest level is because I put my money where my mouth is. And I am pro subscription, and so they have an optional sub and I'm subscribed. I just want to show them I'm willing to do it. So if they're ever like sitting in an office doing like accounting gymnastics on how they're going to fund this thing, I want my subscription to speak for me. It's just how it's going to be from now on. Like if we just look at the sim racing world with iRacing. Yeah. A volunteer sub where you get some perks but nothing major. I like that idea too. I don't know that that would be enough, but I've talked about that. Like, if you could just like subscribe at like the executive level, you know, and you get access to like fancy lounges and space stations and stuff like that. I've talked about this before too, which a lot of people really don't like. I think they should sell or rent apartments for IRL money. Don't make all apartments that way, but maybe like the super fancy deluxe penthouse suite in Microtech, you know? Yeah. Pony up for a $20 a month or whatever the monthly fee is. And then you get that sweet penthouse. I don't know. I also think in-game advertising. Yeah, like mansions in GTA. I think in-game advertising should be a source of revenue for them. I think if this game gets as big as I think it's going to get, like that actually has a lot of value. And I like ideas like this because they actually increase immersion and stuff taken away, right? Like things like selling armor skins, I think removes immersion. Like it ruins the game for me. That's why I'm so against it. I know everybody's going to disagree with me, but I still long for the days of the original World of Warcraft when I saw somebody standing on a mailbox in Ur wearing their tier 3 armor, and I was like, damn. I knew exactly what they did to get it. And now it's just like I see cool armor, it's like, oh, I wonder how much that cost. That fucking sucks for me. I hate that so bad. But if you're paying real money to put a big billboard in the center of Orison to advertise for the garage you just opened up or for the organization you're recruiting for, like that increases my immersion. I love that idea. Yeah, exactly. Like all the adverts in Blade Runner, right? Like make shit look like Blade Runner. That'd be cool as hell. As long as they sell them to players and not third parties, because I don't want to see Coca-Cola ads. Like, get that out of here. Yeah, Doctor's okay with it. That wouldn't be the end of the world either, but I'd rather see ads for in-game player things. I think that'd be really cool. CR said he would be okay with outside advertising, but it had to fit into the lore. Yeah, to some extent. Yeah, I'd be fine with it too. CR said that he wants to be like Ready Player One, which meant a whole lot more people than people think. Welcome back, NFTs. Yeah, I mean, I think he's, you know, a lot of people might hear that and think he's very far-fetched, but I don't think so. I think he's been working on putting the game in that direction for a long time. And it's why, like, whenever we hear him talk at, like, Bar Citizen, and he, you know, a lot of times we're focused on Star Citizen 1.0, but then you hear Chris say something like the ultimate version of Star Citizen. Like, dude, they got so much further to go after 1.0. But imagine telling the public that these guys want to build Ready Player One, or even anything remotely in the ballpark, right? The public would be like, nah, you're never going to build Ready Player One because, you know, it's not done in 12 years. Shit. I wonder how long Ready Player One took to build in the books. I bet it was longer than 12 years. Is that actually something they do, Setham? Does EVE Online have ads for corps and stations? I didn't know that. Sig called out their own store-bought armor. Yeah, I hate that. I haven't even looked at this yet. No, not for real money. Yeah, but that would be cool. That would be a really cool thing for Eve to do as well. I'm glad the Ironclad beat the Hermes. That's badass. I want to see if I disagree with any of these. MTC over the UTV. I don't even remember what they are. Corsair over the Carrack. Ooh. I don't know about that one. I wish I could do a poll in chat. Is there a poll bot? I need to make... That's what I need on this channel. I need a poll bot. So you do like exclamation mark vote. So I can see how many people agree with me. Or disagree. UTV is the small ground cargo runner. MTC is the small combat vehicle. Okay, yeah. You love your Corsair? The Corsair is one of those ships that I have thought about getting. Usually with in-game credits so many times, and I just never pulled the trigger on it. Yeah, I know YouTube has polling, but I'm talking about like my live stream thing. Yeah, I don't know if you could do it on, but well, if I had a bot listening to the channel, I could definitely do it. I would need to do it with a channel bot. In Ready Player One lore, it took 8-ish years to make and only cost 25 cents to hop in. Are you freaking serious? No wonder people have this misconception. 8 years to make Ready Player One. Come on. That's not realistic, unless it was really far in the future. And AI just built it. It looks like I'm maintaining it myself, so my immersion goes to 11. That's cool. I love the Drake look for that reason. I love my Clipper, man. My favorite ship in my hangar. You're very curious about the unannounced ship. Is a complex landing state. Sounds like the Sino you forged me. What ship have we only seen a silhouette of that you're excited about? AI built. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Oh, the Forge? Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I'll accept a Corsair victory over the Carrack, even though I'm a Carrack owner. Oh, but that's gonna make it the Corsair versus the Clipper. Drake versus Drake. Which the Clipper should definitely win any match it comes up against. So, I don't know that the Corsair is going to see the semifinals. But that means like the Clipper is going to go up against the MTC essentially. That makes no sense. But nah, the Ironclad will beat the MTC. So it's looking very likely that the finals up here is just going to be Drake versus Drake. It'll be Ironclad versus Clipper, and I actually don't know what'll win that. I can't say the Clipper will beat the Ironclad. It's going to be a brawl. Carrack has won in the past. That's a good point, too. Hey, Sir Thaddeus. Welcome, man. Ready Player One in 2045 looks more hopeful than I'd expect 2045 to be. Yeah, that's true. Flying a Drake, dying a Drake. Stacked mobile homes are very believable, though. Oh, man. Maybe that's our first movie night on the new platforms, then. We'll watch stacked mobile homes. Oh, flying a Drake, dying a Drake? Hell yeah. I get what you mean, serious fun. I've never heard of it before, but that's good. Carrick won twice. Corsair won once. Well, I don't think either of them are winning this time. I think it's gonna be the Clipper or the Ironclad. I don't know which. What's up, Crashbone? Jack Tyler's from Ohio. Ground Zero for Ready Player One. I actually didn't know that. Today I learned. Maybe Mr. Zuck will get his metaverse, so his company rename will actually make sense again. I've talked about that before, dude. I don't know. I think the way they approached the metaverse was the wrong way. I think the way Star Citizen approaching it is the better way. But we shall see. I thought Virginia was for lovers, Zinley. I think you got the wrong state. Zuck does little right. Fair critique. Yeah, dude, Virginia. Here, we're gonna freaking Google this right now. Which state is for lovers? You see that, Zin? User 16309. Have you commented on the funding for months? I've not been following it. Curious if the SCL shit can has actually impacted CIG. I have not covered it. But that's an interesting thing to look at. I think we'll need to give it a little bit. Maybe a couple weeks or whatever. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe we can take a look at that at the end of the month or beginning of next month. It'd be an interesting thing to look at. I don't expect it to have much of an impact, though. And thanks for being here, and thanks for enjoying the videos. Glad you're enjoying them. Propaganda, Ohio is for lovers, Trump said. I've never heard Ohio is for lovers in my whole life. Oh, is that a song? $16309 is Reliance console code? I did not know that. I have a Reliant. That's cool. I didn't get Rambo driving set up yet, and YouTube dinged the shit out of me for showing that on my stream. So I gotta figure out a way to do it that they don't ding me. Because I would love to. What the hell's this? Okay, well, these guys were clearly playing on Virginia is for lovers. There's a Wikipedia article. Ohio is for lovers is also known simply as Ohio. Is there any mention of Virginia in this article? All right, let's ask, we're gonna ask, did Ohio is for lovers rip off Virginia is for lovers? Let's see what, yes! The phrase Ohio is for lovers is direct and intentional play on the iconic Virginia is for lovers tourism campaign. The original. Virginia is the OG. They created it in 1969. The emo anthem didn't come until 2004. Virginia beat it by like 40 years, bro. Ohio's for that river that caught on fire. Sounds like some haters to me. West Virginia's for even closer lovers. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So, what? They're in the middle of doing the mole versus the reclaimer. And then we got. All right, I'm gonna guess the final round here. Hold on. The M80. I haven't even seen the M80 yet. I'm gonna go check out the M80. Is that's the new ship, right? Oh no, I did see this. Why is everybody suddenly all excited about the M80 anymore? I don't know. I feel like there was a new thing that came out. Oh yeah, I know the Stingray is new, but people were like, I don't know. I heard a lot about the M80 recently, and I'm like, wait, that sounds like an old ship? But yeah, I like the M80. I'm just not good at flying it because that definitely is one of those ones where you have to make sure you don't get hit, and I'm bad at that. I need a tank. Yeah, versus the Shiv will be interesting. I'm gonna call that for the M80 though. The Raylan versus the Prowler utility. You guys got to help me here. I don't do alien ships. Which one do you think's gonna win? I'm gonna ask the audience. Yeah, Raylan all day. Wow, unanimous so far. Unanimous. Okay. Okay. So we're calling out the Raylan. Perseus versus Idris. I feel like the Perseus is going to win that. Anybody disagree? Obviously the Prowler. Rock DS for the win. At least we know who the troll of the chat is. Yeah. Yeah, I felt like the Perseus was definitely. So that puts us at Perseus versus Raylan. And M80. I don't know, man. The Mole versus Reclaimer. I feel like the Mole wins that. I'm voting the Mole. I mean, I love the Reclaimer, but it just needs so much help. I feel like the Mole's recently got its overhaul, and I feel like the ship's in a much better place. Is the Reclaimer far ahead? Wow. I'm still voting the Mole. Wow, it is far ahead. Okay, that shows how much I know. I would have guessed the Mole. Trolls are for lovers. Okay, that's so if the Reclaimer wins that and goes up against the M80, I don't know, I feel like the M80 wins that. I feel like the Perseus beats the Raylan. Of course, I'm biased there. Feel free to overrule me on that. I'm just not into alien ships. So then we end up with Perseus versus M80. Oh man, I don't know. Eventually it'll get updated, yeah. Perseus versus M80. If that ends up being here, then that's a tough call on both. Like if we got Clipper versus Ironclad and M80 versus Perseus, that's a tough round to call. Bro, the Railing's gonna convert me? I'll be assimilated? I don't know, man. Let me see what this is all about. Like a short. Let me just click. I'm just gonna mute this because I don't want to hear it, but I want to see it. Oh, this thing. I will say I love the aesthetics of this ship.
Raven is an alien medium hauler from Gatak Industries
It's
and prioritizes speed of loading.
It reminds me of the Tristan
on the exterior.
From EVE Online, and I love the look of the Tristan.
Dedicated cargo hauler from an alien race, and this is an important moment.
Yeah, me either, P-Wolf. I'm not a fan of alien ships either.
Combat focused.
I do like the outside aesthetic,
like us,
but then once you get inside, you have all like the floaty things and shit. Like I'm just not into that.
They do every day in their lives.
Top-notch shit. You got it on CCU chain. Nice. It dunks on the
C2.
C2.
That we really wanted to push with our alien ships is just that distinction from kind of human manufacturing techniques and alien manufacturing techniques. We kind of developed this idea that they had this really kind of advanced systems that would allow them to be able to
look cool, but they don't like the interiors. That's where I'm at.
In the shapes that they wanted. So things like the really big armored plates that are on the front of the ship. The idea was that these were naturally mined materials rather than having to kind of go in and extract these materials and refine them.
I had to stop thinking like human and
well,
start thinking like
at least we're both
Jim.
on the same page, Jack.
How would an
we're
alien
both not so much into the floaty crap, at least in our minds. But I will say, you gave it a shot and I didn't,
a lot of
so
over how they can
I can't really
manipulate
argue.
different structures. So with the Raylin, it has this really distinct state change between its flight silhouette and its landed silhouette.
The original concept had triangular cargo containers themselves holding the cargo inside, but now during production we've changed that to use standardized cargo grids.
Holds 56 SCU less than the C2.
That means you are not constrained by
much
any
easier to
mission
load,
types
yeah.
that you
I
would
mean,
have
56
had before,
SCU, that's nothing.
having to
Not
manually
that
load
size.
all these cargo units into custom cargo containers. Now you can just turn up to any location.
First alien ship you bought, you like it a lot?
32 SCU containers, so you can just load them on easily, offload them easily.
Interesting.
We have two size 2 tractor turrets that sit on the bottom wings. Two
I really
rear
like my
bridge seats, each control one of these turrets, and can use them
with the
to
bed on the back.
and remove cargo from the
Is it easier to load than that, or like comparable?
The turrets
raft,
move with the wings. You have an okay view when the wings are deployed, so when you're flying around
the
in
interior
space.
loading is kind of a necessity for vehicles.
When wings are in the landed position, you have a
At least
really,
until we
really
can put
good
vehicles
view
in a
of the
box.
cargo grids.
And for those who really appreciated the original aesthetic of those triangular cargo pods, we've retained the signature triangular elements of that as a deployable armoured shield over the cargo beds. The shields themselves are a physical barrier that stop.
You think the inside's a work of art?
Cargo themselves. Obviously, having
just as easy as the raft
makes the cargo very hard to take off, but offers that protection.
I do feel like the laser on the
makes a
raft,
sort of
or
hybrid
the
interior
beam on the
exterior
back could be
cargo ship.
positioned a
You get
little
the
better.
benefits of both systems. You have the ease of loading of exterior cargo, as well as the protection of interior cargo. And then as a further benefit for those of you like counting
That's
boxes,
a cool effect.
we also
Those,
managed to increase
triangles
the cargo
snapping into
capacity from
place.
320 to 640 with these changes as well.
On the Raylin, you can enter the ship one of two ways. So if the ship
A
is
smaller
landed,
version would be
you enter
nice.
through a lift
But
at
then you
very
have the
bottom.
raft.
And if you
I mean,
are
basically, isn't the
flight
raft the
or
smaller
you're in
version of
space, you have a docking collar on the top rear.
At least in function.
The elevator
Maybe not
shaft
aesthetics.
is
Definitely
a really
not
nice,
aesthetics.
central part of the whole ship. It's the first thing you see as you walk in, and it leads you through every floor. You can see all the way up.
A lot of our human ships tend to be quite flat, quite long, whereas
I'm glad they
what
thought
we've
about
tried
the
to
beam
develop is
placement.
this idea that
I wish I'd
the
think
aliens
about it a
prefer
little more on
bit
some of the
more
other ships
verticality to
were
their ship.
updated. Although the beam
middle floor of the
placement on
ship
the
is habitation.
The habs
the ironclad.
are very strange when you first
very
walk in.
good.
You kind of have a big
I was very
bank
happy with the way
of
they placed
these
the beams
pods
on that.
that feel quite strange and different to the kind of habitations you might be used to in a typical human ship.
Yeah, Zenly. They could
But
do
at
a
the same
nightmare
time,
with this
it's,
kind of
it's
tech.
incredibly cozy in there. You kind of have to crawl into the space. You have all this really nice stonework that covers the
The
bed.
interior definitely
You carry
has
on this
the
same sort
nightmare
of
vibe.
motif of these ribbons that sort of run around every part of the ship, which you can imagine is kind of carrying the energy and the power from the engineering and powering all these rooms.
We tried to make it feel quite relaxing, quite calm. So they brought in these waterfalls that run down the sides of the walls in the mess area. On one side, you've got the bathrooms.
Tractor beams on the
and
back
the
are
opposite
actually really
side, you've
good.
got the food preparation area.
Use them more in the, yeah.
As this is
I tried to
an alien
use them on
ship,
the
it caters
raft,
to
but
both
man, I
the
just
GR
can't
and
get into a
humans.
groove
So
with
for
them
the
on the
humans,
raft.
you've
I end
got
up
a
just jumping
chow line
out
where you're able to get
and
your
doing
food and
everything
your drink.
manually.
Alongside the very specialist Xi'an food area.
Are these the ones
Kamiko,
that
the
eat
only alien ship you like is the Talon.
These are the ones that eat people. Or these
couldn't
are
get
the
into
ones
the
that poop
Talon
squares?
either,
I can't
I-
remember.
But
These are the turtles, but they behave like birds.
Then off to either side, we have a small room that has a small bench and like a viewing out over the front of the ship. We've got the 2 escape pods on either side and also the turret access.
I don't know. Maybe I'll have to borrow
Finally,
some.
you take the elevator
this
up
thing
to the
and
top
fly it
floor.
around once.
It takes you straight into engineering.
The engineering
See if it grows
is really
on me,
kind of
but,
imposing, and it just feels very important.
I don't
You
have
can
a
tell
single
that there's,
alien
like, a
ship
lot
in
of
my
power
hangar.
running through this room. Your different
Yet.
component bays all around the room facing you. And
Raft
they all
plus
open up
ATLS?
with,
Yeah, I
the
love the Raft
impressive
plus ATLS.
Xi'an tech.
See, that's how
plating
I
all
think
moving
ship
out of the way.
beams should work.
The alien
I wish they would
design
update
comes in with
the
quite how
beam-
wide these component bays are.
The beams on
Like,
ships
there's a lot of
to
room
work
that
like the
accommodates
ATLS.
more space needed to access them than just a slim little engineer who's making his way in. You also have these beams that are coming across the ceiling, and you can tell that there's power
Resistance is futile.
thrumming through like these ribbons that are coming from each of the component bays.
At least some ships
It's
I
a
wish
really,
had
really interesting
ATLS
room.
like beams.
It was a lot of fun to work on.
Like I think they should leave
As you go towards
the
front of the ship,
handheld tractor
you're
beams
into the bridge
clunkier.
area, and this probably has
But,
one of the best views out of a lot of ships that
If
we've
they could
done.
put a really awesome
There
tractor
is
beam
4 sets floating on
on something
air.
the size of an
So
ATLS,
that
then why
feels
can't they
like
put it
it's
on a big ass
totally
ship?
alien, uncanny thing. When you enter the set, they're rotating with a fancy
Now that would be
flying
cool if we could
animation.
craft them
I
and
hope
swap
that
the
they
the
will
beams
really
out on the
wow
ship. That would be
effect.
amazing.
Because it's pretty different than the usual ships we have.
I was thinking because I can see a reason for having the classic style beams if you want to do
The cargo
certain
capacity of the ship lends itself to the vast majority
types of
cargo
movement.
missions, so it's great for
Maybe
cargo
that's
players,
actually better
and it's
than
not short in
ATLS
firepower
style.
category,
So I was
and
thinking even
has
if you did
great turrets and
have the
pilot
ATLS
control
style, you'd
weapons
have to have
as
some
well.
kind of a switch to switch the modes. But if you could just
Pull the
choose
team.
the type
did
you
their
wanted
job
and
so
have that be an
fantastic.
actual choice a
It
player
looks
has to
cool,
make, that would be really
sharp,
cool.
aggressive.
Very happy with it. I really like the overall aesthetic
Okay,
of the
yeah.
interior, and
Mr. Doctor
the
and I
design
are,
is
thinking
an
the same thing.
interesting way to use this sort of tall 3-story ship in still actually quite a small
I mean,
space.
that would be the ultimate. If there was a
This ship
mode
is for
toggle.
someone that wants to go out with their friends, they don't mind taking on a bit of danger, and they want to look a little bit different, a little bit cool doing it.
If you had that exterior with the human interior, woo, then I'd be sold. I'd probably never look back. So yeah, I don't know. Sounds like you guys think the Railing could beat the Perseus, which would then put us at M80 versus Railing. Yeah, I don't know. Be interesting if it's Railing went the whole way. Now, what happens if you end up with Railing versus Ironclad? Maybe that's actually a really feasible outcome. I mean, the Ironclad was definitely one of the best ships we got this year. But I would say the best ship we got this year. You think the Percy wins it all? All right. We're gonna come back to this after this is all over. We'll see. We'll see who gets it right. I gotta come up with something. I'll come up with something. But since all this chat gets saved to my Discord, I'll have the full history. So go ahead and put your guess for who takes it all in chat, and then I'll group it up. I'm gonna go ahead and put my guess in chat. I'm going with Ironclad takes it all. Argo cargo for me? There's no Argo on here, bro. Well, except the mole, but... Alright, we got one other Ironcladder. Got a lot of Perseus. I think people would stop using the ATLS? That's silly. Idris will go all the way. Okay, we got an Idris. Your official is the Ironclad. Okay. All the votes in. Perseus, as much as I adore the railing. Wow. Zinley, how we doing on the trees? Have we seen anybody? The Shiv is the dark horse to win. Okay. Well, we got some interesting calls, so it'll be fun to see which one of us gets it right. My vote is in and wasted on the mole, apparently, but that's all right. No such thing as a wasted vote. We have established that every game tanks by 90% on Steam, and that I gotta check out Active in the Verse. That Ohio for Lovers is a ripoff. And there wasn't much going on the Comlink this week. You don't have a Shiv? Lies and slander? Any interest in checking out this game I'm playing at the moment? And Zinley? Oh, totally quiet? Okay, yeah. I wanted to check before I play anything. Anybody want to check out War Dogs, or is there something else we should dig into? Pretty much our whole Star Citizen crew, plus people from Dune and a few other of our chapters are all kind of getting together and playing War Dogs for the beta weekend. Old school RuneScape, Zork. You want to play Zork together? Yeah, War Dogs is extremely fun, Sir Thaddeus. I'm not good at it, but it's very fun. It's in open beta this weekend for anybody that pre-orders. Or I think you can just request access to the beta. And I guess a lot of people are just getting it that way without even pre-ordering. But they set it up so that you can pre-order for guaranteed access, and then they accept cancellations for a certain number of days after the beta test this weekend. So you can just pre-order it, play it, and then refund it if you're not interested in it. Yeah, we let's see how many people are playing right now. We've had people all day for both days. Yeah, there's a group of 7 of them in there right now. Can you pledge for what? You looking for a new cult? You're more than welcome to join. If you can play Zork, that would be cool. I think you can play it online now. Yeah, man. Join up. Yeah, look at us. Boom. And boots up the old x86. Yeah, sure. This is what it looked like on the Atari. I had that blue background, white text. That's exactly what it looked like. I didn't realize it tracked your moves. Something tells me, though, that War Dogs will be a little bit more interesting to watch than Zork. I'm so playing this later, hell yeah. The first command I ever typed into this game, I still remember it plain as day, is open mailbox. I bet a lot of people that was their first command. I never did beat it. Did anybody beat Zork? Because I never did. You leave every org you join because ultimately you can't really be social. You don't have to be social here, dude. We got a bunch of people that just lurk. And they just join in once in a while. You don't have to talk on comms, you can just listen. We got people in the org that have never been on comms. Just do their thing and chat in Discord once in a while. Yeah, you got a lot of lurkers. Even the old graphic adventure games were text-based at first? Yeah, that's true. Guardian, you never got to play. How do you beat it? I guess it's kind of like... kind of like beating... I actually don't know, but I know they're like... It's more like... It feels like a sandbox, but it's more of a classic adventure game where there is a goal to achieve. And I think there is an end to this if you can reach it. I've never done it, so I don't, and I never read up on it. I never wanted to spoil it for myself, but I don't want to spoil it for you how far I've gotten. But all I will say is, because you will learn this like very quickly and early in the game. Like, you start out near this house, and eventually you discover that the house opens up into this huge underground cave system under it. And as you explore this cave system, there's some wild shit you come across. And I think from everything I've read, it is possible to get to the end of this cave system, and there's stuff that happens at the end that I don't know what all that is. And that's how you beat it. But I've never managed to get there. There's all kinds of obstacles and puzzles along the way that you have to overcome. C64 tape drive games or something? Yeah. This I played on an Atari 7800, I think. I can't remember the exact model, but it had a tape drive and a disc drive, and this particular game loaded off of a disc. Is War Dogs capturing the old Battlefield feeling or what? Yeah, it's holy crap, that sounds so cool. I'll let you know how far I get. Hell yeah, dude. That'd be amazing. That would be totally amazing. I might give it a play too. Because the last time I played this, I must have been, I don't even know, man. Maybe like 12, 13 years old. And it's so captured my imagination. So now, maybe I'm a little bit more analytical now. Maybe I'd actually be able to get through it. That would be fun. Is War Dogs capturing that old Battlefield feeling or what? It's I don't know. I never really got into Battlefield. I never really got into any FPS past Unreal Tournament 2004 was the last FPS I really went ham on. I never played any after that, really, so I can't really compare this to a lot of the other ones, but it surprised me. I can't say I never played any ones. People got me into what the hell was it called? Call of Duty. I think it's on the Blizzard launcher. It's the one that was like last man standing or last team standing. Yeah, is that Modern Warfare? Is that what that was? Yeah. Yeah, I think it was this. Yeah, I played some of this. Or Warzone, yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, I played some of that, and this is way better than Warzone. The thing I hated about these Call of Duty games is like the interface is just so screwed up. Like they're shoving like so much stuff like down your throat, like buy this, buy that. It's like, I don't know, like when I'm just trying to get into a game and squad up with my friends and queue up for a game, I just feel like there's just so much like advertisements and sales bombarding me. It just really kind of ruins the experience for me, and the other game has none of that. War Dogs has none of that, man. War Dogs is freaking clean, and the performance is stellar. Unreal Tournament is the GOAT, right? 5.5-inch floppy disk failure was so frustrating. Yeah, I think it was 5 1/4 and 3 1/2. You gotta go, Jack? All right. Well, Sister's TikTok is definitely a priority. We'll catch you next time, man. I hope. Yeah. We can at least play a match here. So people can see it. I gotta pop in and ask what server the team is on real quick.
In between.
Hey, what server and color? Copy that. All right, we got it. Chicken Zero. Sharp salute back at you. Show you guys some of this economic stuff. It's interesting to me, at least. I don't know if this is normal. Just has all these shards that you can join. So my team is currently playing on number 221. And I'll be in a queue for a while. Holy shit, I just realized it was 11. Hold on, I gotta check on something. Might have to end this. Missed all the drama hustle. There was so much drama, dude. Halfway done with the large already? Damn. Maverick, thank you for the bits, dude. I don't know if I gotta go yet or not. It's I had a thing I was supposed to do at 11, but I'm pinging to see if that is still valid. If not, we'll just keep going here. Yeah, put your back into it, Zen. So not a single sighting, huh, Zen? I'm hoping that 4.10 comes out next week, and next week's stream, we're playing Siege of Orison. I'm gonna need 3 people. So we can format it. So if anybody's interested in grouping up, let me know. It'll obviously be Saturday night. Sweet. Sweet. You work. Ugh. Cool, Maverick. Yeah, if it lines up, that'd be fun. Be a super fun. I can't even. That's gonna be crazy times. All right. Looks like I am going to have to do this thing. So, another time we will play War Dogs. Sorry about that. But, like I said, next Saturday we'll be playing Siege of Orson. So, people will probably appreciate that a lot more anyway. Yeah, we'll form up a group. We'll go through it. It'll be interesting to see how long it takes. I'm hearing like an hour and a half to get through that thing. Look forward to trying it out. We'll see if all the doomers from this past week are right, and that the game's just. I'm not even gonna repeat it. I'm looking forward to having a very good time in Siege of Orson, in spite of everybody's comments. We doomed. Is what tabletop? Siege of Orson? Oh shit! I just got in. It's all over. Yeah. All right, yeah. I'm gonna leave because my other engagement is beginning. I appreciate everybody coming out today. It's great to see so many faces and all out right away. I appreciate everybody jumping into the videos this past week. I think every name in this chat I saw in the comments. That's amazing. Such a big help whenever y'all are able to do that. So really appreciate it. And we'll see. We'll see what videos are needed this week. I'm assuming that drama is long gone, and we can get into some more fun stuff this week, and then Siege of Orson on Saturday. So. Yeah, man. Appreciate it, Maverick. And everybody. We'll catch up next live session, Guardian Gnome. I want to know how Zork goes for sure. Akira guy was something else. Yeah. Have a good night, all. Thanks, everybody. See ya.